Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. What do you think is the most frequently stolen item in the world? It's not smartphones, not jewelry, not even cash. The answer, surprisingly, is cheese. That's right. Around 4% of all cheese produced globally ends up stolen, making it the world's most pilfered food product. This isn't just someone slipping a block of cheddar into their coat at the local supermarket. We're talking about sophisticated, organized heists. In 2015, thieves in Wisconsin made off with a trailer full of cheese worth $70,000. A few years later in Italy, armed robbers stole 2,000 wheels of Parmesan Reggiano, valued at over $600,000. This is the world of the culinary underworld, a vast and growing black market for food that goes far beyond a single stolen cheese wheel. It's a complex global issue involving organized crime, massive financial losses, and significant risks to public health. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this clandestine trade, exploring how these food crimes happen, why they're so dangerous, and what's being done to police our global pantry. According to a recent report from the British Standards Institution, thefts from the food and beverage supply chain skyrocketed by nearly 30% in 2023 alone. Food and drink products have officially become the most targeted category for cargo thieves, surpassing even electronics and automotive parts. So why food? Well, stolen food is what criminals call a perfect commodity. It's high in value, especially items like premium olive oil, manuka honey, saffron, or large shipments of nuts and meat. Once it's stolen, it's incredibly difficult to trace. Unlike a smartphone with a serial number, a stolen steak doesn't have a unique identifier. This makes it easy for criminals to launder the stolen goods back into the legitimate market. They can be sold to unsuspecting restaurants, corner stores, or even online marketplaces at a discount. The methods are often surprisingly bold. Criminals might use insider information to know exactly when a high-value shipment is leaving a warehouse. They might create fake pickup orders with forged documents, or simply stage a direct hijacking of a delivery truck. These aren't petty criminals. They are organized networks that see our food supply chain as a low-risk, high-reward opportunity. The economic damage is staggering. The FBI estimates that cargo theft in general costs the U.S. economy up to $30 billion a year, and food is a massive slice of that pie. For the small farmer whose entire year's crop of premium nuts is stolen from a warehouse, the loss can be devastating, potentially putting them out of business. For large companies, it means higher insurance costs and the expense of investing in more security, costs that are inevitably passed on to us, the consumers. But the impact of the culinary underworld goes far beyond theft. The even more insidious, and frankly more dangerous, side of this world is food fraud. This is the deliberate and intentional substitution, addition, tampering, or misrepresentation of food for economic gain. While theft removes food from the supply chain, fraud secretly corrupts it from within. You've likely heard of some of the big scandals. The 2013 horse meat crisis in Europe, where products advertised as 100% beef were found to contain up to 100% horse meat. Perhaps the most chilling example was the 2008 Chinese milk scandal, where infant formula and other milk products were adulterated with melamine, an industrial chemical, to make the protein content appear higher. This act of fraud led to the deaths of 6 infants and hospitalized over 50,000 more. Food fraud is everywhere, and it can be incredibly subtle. That expensive extra virgin olive oil you bought might be diluted with cheaper sunflower or canola oil. Your premium manuka honey could be bulked up with corn syrup. That pricey saffron might be mixed with dyed corn silk. The wild-caught salmon you paid a premium for could actually be cheaper, farmed Atlantic salmon. The motivation is pure profit. Criminals exploit the price difference between a genuine ingredient and a cheap substitute. It's a multi-billion-dollar global industry, and it puts every single one of us at risk. At best, you're just getting ripped off. At worst, you could be consuming undeclared allergens, harmful chemicals, or products produced in unsanitary conditions. The culinary underworld thrives in the dark, but a global effort is underway to shine a bright light on its operations. The fight is being waged on three main fronts: technology, dedicated law enforcement, and international cooperation. First, let's talk about the tech. To combat large-scale theft, logistics and food companies are turning into virtual fortresses. We're seeing the widespread adoption of advanced tracking technologies. This isn't just a simple GPS dot on a map. Modern systems provide real-time data on a shipment's location, temperature, humidity, and even whether the container doors have been opened. Companies can set up geofences, virtual perimeters around approved routes or facilities. If a truck deviates from its path or stops for an unusually long time, an instant alert is sent to a security team. Some pallets are now even equipped with sensors that can detect light and air pressure changes, signaling that a container has been breached. On the fraud detection side, the technology is straight out of a science fiction movie. Scientists are using DNA barcoding to verify the species of fish, ensuring that your red snapper isn't a cheaper tilapia. They're using stable isotope ratio analysis, a technique that can analyze the chemical signature of a food to determine its geographic origin. This can prove whether a bottle of wine truly comes from the Bordeaux region of France, or if olive oil really is from a specific grove in Italy. Another powerful tool is spectroscopy, which uses light to analyze the molecular makeup of a food. It can instantly detect if honey has been cut with sugar syrups, or if expensive spices have been diluted with fillers. These technologies are making it harder and harder for criminals to pass off fake products as the real thing. The second front in this war is dedicated law enforcement and stronger governance. This isn't a job for regular patrol officers. In response to the rise in organized food crime, specialized units have been formed around the world. In the United States, the FBI has a dedicated major theft program that investigates cargo crime, and the California Highway Patrol runs a highly effective cargo theft interdiction program. These units work with industry insiders to gather intelligence and track criminal networks. At the global level, organizations like the World Trade Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, are working to harmonize regulations and promote transparent markets. By creating stronger, more consistent rules across borders, they close the legal loopholes that criminals have been so adept at exploiting. This brings us to the third and perhaps most crucial front: cooperation. Food crime is a problem that no single company or country can solve alone. The solution lies in building powerful partnerships. We're seeing a rise in public-private partnerships, where law enforcement agencies share intelligence and coordinate operations with food producers, shipping companies, and retailers. A food company might provide a tip about a suspicious buyer, which law enforcement can then use to uncover a larger criminal ring. This collaboration is essential. International cooperation is just as vital. Criminals don't care about borders. They might steal a truckload of meat in Germany, repackage it in Poland, and sell it to restaurants in the UK. To stop this, countries must work together. They need to share customs data, coordinate enforcement actions, and create a unified front that makes it impossible for criminals to simply hop from one jurisdiction to another to escape justice. So the fight against the culinary underworld is a challenging one, but it is far from a lost cause. Through this combination of cutting-edge technology, dedicated law enforcement, and a global commitment to cooperation, we are beginning to police our global pantry more effectively. This fight, however, isn't just for governments and corporations. As consumers, we also have a role to play. It starts with being aware that this black market exists. The most important rule to remember is one you've heard 1,000 times. If a deal seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. That incredibly cheap bottle of premium olive oil or Manuka honey you see on an unfamiliar website could be stolen, fake, or worse. Make informed choices. Buy from reputable vendors and retailers you trust. Understand that the hidden cost of that suspicious bargain can be far greater than the price tag, potentially affecting your health and funding criminal organizations. The culinary underworld is a dark and complex web, but by understanding its inner workings and supporting the efforts to dismantle it, we can protect the integrity of our food supply, ensure the safety of our communities, and preserve the simple pleasure of a good, honest meal. After all, the secret ingredient in our food should be passion and craftsmanship, not crime. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online.